Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football on the road over the weekend, not in our usual studio. But the Miami Hurricane fans know I'm certainly not missing an opportunity to talk this program on the recruiting trail, and specifically for, kind of the diamond in the rough that I think the Miami Hurricanes found in this 2025 class, coming from Takaylen Muex, who commits late Thursday night, 6'3.5", 340 pounds. You turn on the film, he kind of reminds you of a guy like Inez Cooper coming in the 2022 class, and somebody that kind of brings you a lot of versatility, right? We want to talk about just betting on the traits of these kind of guys, like 6'3.5", 340, flashes some really nice athleticism. Yeah, he might not be the most polished offensive lineman. That's why you see him getting really undervalued on the recruiting trail. I'm a bet on those traits every single day, especially when it comes to the offensive line. And I think secondly, you're looking at a guy that has some really nice versatility. He plays tackle at the high school level, probably plays guard at the college level. A guy that has, like, when he's in a phone booth, and that's kind of why I like him at guard. When he's in a phone booth, it has the chance to be engaged with defenders. That's when he's at his best. I think this is a really sneaky good commitment for the Miami Hurricanes. Want to dive into the film, kind of talk about what he brings to this Hurricanes offense before we get into it. And as always, just want to say thank you to you guys, to the Miami Hurricane fans, whether we're in Rochester, New York, whether we're in the middle of Iowa like we are right now. We're always talking this program. Appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. If you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into this one. And I want to start with, before we get into the film, the kind of offensive lineman Mario Cristobal wants to recruit. You take a look at the last couple of classes. You go back to Samson Okunlola, Francis Mauino, and now you look at a guy like Takaylen Muex. Mario Cristobal wants road graders on the offensive line, and that's kind of what they are going out and getting. You look at a guy like Takaylen Muex, again, I think he's a rather raw offensive line prospect. You see him get off balance a little bit, kind of fall forward a little bit. He is a raw prospect, but has a lot of traits. But one thing that you absolutely love is how physical he is at the point of attack. And again, you kind of look at the pure body type and say, man, it kind of reminds me of 2 years ago, 3 years ago at this point, Inez Cooper coming out of high school, committing to the Hurricanes, where, again, it was an underrated prospect, according to 24/7 Sports, a massive frame with some nice athleticism. I think Mario Cristobal and that staff looked at a guy like Inez Cooper and said, let's go take a flyer. Like, let's just go see if this kid can put it together with the size of strength that he had in his hands. It obviously worked out extremely well. I think Miami's doing the exact same thing with the guy like Takaylen Muex. And you get into the film and say, I mean, there are some things that you really like. One, I say that he's probably going to play guard at the college level. I also look at him and say he's really athletic. Like, you take a look at pulling around to the play side here. I mean, this dude is absolutely moving for someone who's 340 pounds. And I'm not really saying he can't play tackle. I think the athleticism, quite frankly, is there. This is kind of why I wanted to see him play guard at college. When he's in that phone booth, when he is engaged with opposing defensive linemen, that's when he's at his best. And at times you see him play a little bit heavy with the feet. But when he's playing kind of in that phone booth, that is when he's at his best. You look at that guard spot. You want to put this kid in the best spots he can be possible. This is where you kind of see, maybe a little bit of the why he should be a guard. But he get engaged. He's putting people in the dirt. I really like this kid. And again, I think that the size, the frame, the athleticism, it's all something that, you kind of want to bet on if you're Mario Cristobal and the Miami Hurricanes. And it's the kind of offensive lineman they've wanted to bet on for a long time as well. I'm fired up about this commitment. You look at him getting around the play side again. He flashes some really impressive athleticism, ton of power in his hands. I like this commitment. I think it fits exactly, one, what Miami wants to do. And I think more importantly, you want to bet on these kind of guys in terms of building your offensive line. We'll close it out on that. Again, appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll talk to y'all